In this video, I will discuss reaching during the golf swing. I had no idea that this was a thing until I started playing golf again in 2019 at some point. So this is an example of what a pro thinks ideal distance from the ball should be. Now you can see, if you look up top here, you see A. A is what he is doing. Now you should back up from the ball so your hands get further away from your body, depending upon your rotational movement skills. If you lack rotational movement skills or want to reduce the rotational demands that are placed upon your body, you just want to back up from the ball a little bit. For whatever reason, teaching pros don't get this. It's purely a cookie cutter approach. Everybody, except for a handful of pros here and there, set you up the exact same way. Now, if you remotely veer from this dogmatic setup position that is the only one that's really taught, look what you're told that you're doing. I mean, what is this? What is this? If you move your hands further away from the body, apparently you have to hunch forward like this. I mean, this is, I don't even know what to say about this. So we go from A to off the chart somewhere, right? Can't even remotely consider any of these positions. You got to go right off the chart. And these guys are not the only ones. So these are two guys who were doing it. Here's a popular guy. Rick Shields, his driver setup. Don't lean too far. So look what he does. Hunches forward. What's this hunching forward business? Doesn't even make any sense. So it's not just teaching pros who talk about this. Here's Padraig Harrington, great player, major tour winner. He'll tell you, you want to let your arms hang down, just like A. Now that's the only thing you can do, because if you don't let them hang down, you'll have to go off the charts. Look what he does. What is he doing? Hunching up his shoulders, hunching forward. Doesn't Padraig Harrington know that you can set up to the ball at variable distances depending upon your movement skills or your desire to take the intense rotational demand off the body that occurs with A? And people will argue, well, if you stand too far from the ball and you put your hands further away from A, you won't be able to hit it far. Really? How about this guy? This guy is setting up D or E, and he took second place in the long drive championship in 2022. So it's just nuts, this reaching business. So here are three great pros. The greatest ball striker ever, Mo Norman, Nancy Lopez, and Chichi Rodriguez. So why can't an amateur do that? I lack dynamic rotational movement skills. And I do it because I lack dynamic rotational movement skills. If I stand closer, I'll stand up through impact, which is the last thing that you want to do. So I'm going to show you something here that's kind of interesting. We're going to take Mo Norman's spine angle. Now, because when you look at, now this is a young Mo Norman. The reason why he looks like he's hunched further forward is because his legs are straight. You can see Lopez has a bend. Chichi has a little bit of a bend. But watch this. So I'm going to take Mo's spine angle, and I'm going to put I copied it, and I just moved it up next to the other three. So you can see Chichi is almost the exact same spine angle, pretty much the exact, well, it looks like the exact same spine angle as Mo Norman. Nancy Lopez is more upright, and I am slightly more upright than Mo Norman and Chichi Rodriguez. So what's wrong with this? I have no idea why these guys don't understand this. So here's Rick Shields. So you saw earlier in this video where I had a yellow spine angle on Rick Shields. What I did was I took Mo's spine angle, popped it on Rick Shields. So the only reason why Mo Norman looks like he's hunched forward is because his legs are straight. At impact, his legs aren't straight. But again, for whatever reason, which I do not comprehend, teaching pros do not understand that you can maintain the same spine angle and just move your hands out this way because you prefer to place less rotational demand on your body, or because you can't. Now for me, I can't rotate like remotely like a pro, so I need to have my hands further away from my body. I don't know why these three did it. Mo Norman talked about putting his hands away from his body so that so his arms could move freely past his body. And that was enough for me when I watched Craig Shanklin's video. But for whatever reason, Rick Shields and the other pros, and even major tournament winners like Padraig and Harrington, don't realize that you can maintain the exact same spine angle that you have with your regular driver or regular irons. Just move your hands further away from your body. They don't get that. They somehow do this. They do this flex forward reaching thing, bending, hunching. Not reaching, it's hunching. I've never seen anyone, out of all the times I play golf all over the place where I play golf, waiting in line at really crowded places, I've never seen anybody stand up to the ball like this in my life. Now, I'm sure some do, but I've never seen any. So what should you do? You need to set up to the ball based upon your rotational movement skills. So the idea is videotape yourself from down the. Oh, by the way, this is the same spine angle of Mo Norman's. And again, it doesn't look as hunched forward because my legs are bent. And so it looks like I'm not as flexed forward as Mo Norman. So we have to figure out at where in the spectrum from A to E that you need to be so that at impact, your head does not rise up. You don't go into early extension. And that is the biggest thing. You want to avoid. The way you avoid going into early extension or standing up through impact is you need to set up from the ball at the proper distance so that the proper distance for your movement skills. For me, it's between D and E. I'm in here. This is me. This is where I have to be. Otherwise, I stand up. Again, I have no idea why this is complicated, why teaching pros just don't get this. See this? They don't get this. They don't get this. They think that this means this. Absolutely stunning. A beautiful example of how golf swing instruction is absolutely institutionalized. Now, the problem for us amateurs, for the pros, this is not a big deal because they can dynamically move. But for us amateurs, if we stand too close to the ball for our movement skills, now this is me talking to you directly, for you, if you stand too close to the ball for your movement skills, your swing will be Shawshanked. You want to move back from the ball based upon your rotational movement skills. And if you want to further Shawshank your swing, de-Shawshank, you want to de-Shawshank your swing, you can check out some of my other videos that discuss the Shawshank risk factors that teaching pros plop us into with, innocently without knowing it. So if you check out the videos, if you want, you can check out the book as well. You can just go to Amazon and put in the name, and there it is.